All right, what is up, Facebook Live? So my agents brought me this objection the other day, wanted to share it with you guys. And the objection is when talking to a possible seller or buyer that my friend, family member, mom, aunt, cousin, uncle, my Goldfish is a real estate agent. And therefore, the agent assumes that they will not use you because they have a strong bonded relationship with somebody very close to them, not just another agent, but possibly somebody they know. And how do you handle and overcome this objection? Now, I'll be straightforward. This is a tricky one and is oftentimes a low percentage conversion on actually getting an appointment, but it's not something to give up on for a couple of reasons. Now, first, I want to get the three major assumptions that agents make about this objection out of the way first, because it usually stops agents from even attempting to handle this objection. And the first assumption that we need to get out of the way is that they even like the person that they're talking about. You would be amazed at how often somebody says, oh yeah, I have a family member that's a real estate agent. And then whenever you're doing an open house, the agent gets sad and thinks, oh, I'll never get this person as a client because they already have somebody as a real estate agent. Do not assume that they even like that person. A lot of times people have family members in the business and they will not ever use them, but they just say it as a statement that, oh yeah, I have a mom in the real estate business, my mother-in-law, my aunt, my uncle, somebody is a real estate agent. Don't assume that they like them. Don't assume that this family member, friend, or whoever they mention is actually a local real estate agent. When agents make the mistake of saying, do you have an agent? And someone responds, oh yeah, my mom's an agent. Don't assume that they're actually local. Many times I've had people say that they have a family member in the business, but that family member actually lives in another fucking state and there's no way they're going to be able to help this person here. But that wasn't the correct question that you asked. You asked the question, do you have an agent? And they're like, oh yeah, I have an agent, but they're not even local. And so that'll stop a lot of agents from even trying to handle that objection. And number three, do not assume that just because they have a friend or family member in the business that they are not open to looking at other options. And this goes along with they may not even like the family member in the business and the family member might not even be local. Okay, so here's why this objection is pretty tricky. Because when somebody says that they have a friend or family member in the business, it can be one of three areas. It can be a statement or a complaint, meaning that it is just a statement as a matter of fact, like somebody says, hey, it's cold outside. That doesn't mean that they're not going to go outside. They're just making a complaint, a statement. And a lot of agents, as soon as they hear, oh, I have a family member in the business, will just hang up on the phone call and move on. So if it's just a statement or a complaint, they may have no intentions of using that agent. Number two, this could be a valid objection, meaning I would love to do business with you, but I have this person in mind who's in the business and we're highly considering them. Identify whether it's a statement, an objection, or number three, a condition. And a condition would be, well, we are going to sell our home, but my wife would absolutely kill me if we even thought of using another agent. We are not using anybody else. That is a condition. That is a condition of there is no way they are using anybody else except their mother to sell their house. So how do you identify which area that this is in? Well, you have to ask the right questions. So as you go through and someone identifies somebody that they have in mind, if it is just a statement, and this is what I do very often when people use a statement such as, your commissions are too high, or the commissions are too high when you sit down at a listing table, many times to see if it's actually an objection and not just a complaint, I'll roll right through it. I don't even mention it. I just say, yeah, the commissions are high, and here's what we're going to do to market your home, A, B, C, and D. How do you know if it's actually an objection where they're going to hold up the deal because of this objection? They'll bring it up again. Okay, so they may say, oh, I have a mom who's in the real estate. Oh, great, yeah, you know what, my mom's in the real estate business too. Hey, when could we get together, take a look at your home, blah, 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 blah. Roll right over it. If they bring it up again, it might be a valid objection saying, hey, we would love to use you, but my mom is an agent. So the condition is if you try to handle the objection, got a motorcycle. If you try to handle the objection and then they come out with a very hard condition of there's no way we're using anybody because my wife wouldn't allow it or it just won't happen, then you've got a condition and you're pretty much at the end of the line there. So if you do have an objection or a statement, this is my suggestion for handling it. This is how you actually roll through it. Number one, agree with whatever they say. Rule number one of handling any objection is to never argue. Here's what most agents do, and they fuck this objection up constantly. They will say, oh, you have a friend in the business. Well, have you ever thought if this doesn't go right, that this may damage your relationship with that friend? Okay, absolute bullshit. Does it work sometimes? Yeah, okay, but it's a low percentage play and you're putting fear into the person that you're talking to. You're putting fear into the prospect. I don't recommend that play. First you do is you agree. Oh, great, you have a friend, a family member, a Goldfish in the business. So do I. I know a lot of agents as well. Isolate the objection. Okay, hey, other than the fact that your mom is in the business, is there any other reason why you wouldn't consider an interview with our real estate team? The reason why you want to isolate this objection is to make sure they don't say something like, well, yeah, you know, we're going to use my mom because she's going to do it for free. She's a broker. She's going to charge us 0.5%. That's another way it's going to be really hard to overcome, and that might end up being the condition that causes you to maybe end the phone call. Number three, after you isolate and they say, yeah, you know, we would appreciate everything that you've done, you know, talking to us about the business over the phone, but we just can't commit to you because we have this friend in the business. Reframe, or what we call place fear of missing out on them by framing the possibility that there could be a better way to get their home sold for more money in the least amount of time. Now, I don't like the play of damaging a relationship, which I already mentioned, because I just feel like it's just way too negative. You don't want to put that energy out there. I want to place doubt in their mind, but replace that doubt with the possibility that there is something better out there for them to get, which is what do most sellers want? Well, they want hassle-free, they want more money, they don't want as many showings, they want to get the deal done as quickly as possible. So you want to place the doubt in their mind that it's possible that there is a marketing plan. It's possible that there is an agent out there who could do a little bit better of a job than maybe the person that they're thinking of, and just see if they're even open to the idea of taking a look. And so if they have a friend or family member in the business and they haven't signed papers, they're not 100% committed to, I even use a stupid example of, hey, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you know, when I go to buy a cell phone, I usually call at least 3 friends. I go to every store and look at every single phone. Would it make sense with one of your biggest assets to at least take a look at one other agent? Would it even make sense to see what we have to share with you? And worst case scenario, you can take what we use, all the best parts, and if it doesn't work out, you can share it with the other agent and they can use it to hopefully get your home sold for more money. Make it very, very non-confrontational, make it very easy for them to back out, and sometimes you will get that appointment. Now, like I said, it's low percentage. If people do have a strong relationship with the person that they're planning to use as an agent, oftentimes it's really, really hard to beat that relationship, but it is possible. I'll tell you what, I've learned the hard way plenty of times that almost everyone, I'm not going to say almost everyone, but there's a lot of people out there that even if they have a relationship with an agent, they're still looking out for themselves, and they're still going to go with the agent who gives them the best deal, has the best marketing plan. And here's the other thing. If they have someone in mind, you know, if you get that appointment, the other person, the other agent, probably isn't presenting. They're probably not going in there with a full listing presentation ready to go. They probably got a phone call. And just walked into the house and gave them a price and walked out without even presenting. When you go in there with a full marketing plan, your numbers, your stats, it's game time. It's time to win that listing. So really easy, guys. When you go in, if you get these folks on the phone who have another agent, or you get them face to face, always agree with them. You want to isolate, make sure that there's no other reason other than they know somebody that they may not do business with you, or they may be able to do business with you. Reframe and place that fear of missing out, of the possibility of making more money, and then you go in for the close and present your materials and present the reasons why you're going to be the superior agent. So if you guys have questions about how to overcome the friend, family member, the Secret Service Goldfish that just sells a ton of real estate who they know in the neighborhood, write a comment in the Facebook comment section. We'll try to get it to you. You guys have a good weekend, and we will see you Monday.